أمازيغية you can't speak Arabic.
جماعة خلص انت لازم تمشي ضايل لك دقيقة
ما عندك Arabic. You can't speak Arabic. You can't speak it because you don't read in Arabic. You don't read Arabic. But you can't speak it, unfortunately. Stop it.
We are in UK here. You can speak any language.
How did he?
Any language you can speak. We are not in Algeria. We are not in Algeria. We are in UK.
In UK.
There is a free
UK. You know what happened in Algeria? They slaughter people.
Don't talking about
they can't speak standard Arabic.
You don't understand.
They wanted to speak standard Arabic. They wanted to be Arabs by force.
Don't talk Arabic.
Go to Saudi Arabia. They will never accept you as an Algerian. How many Algerians live in Europe, in America? More than in the Gulf countries. If you go to Oman, they will not allow you to work as an Algerian. If you go to... Yes, that's true.
There's racism in everything.
What's your point? No. In Oman, you cannot travel as an Algerian. You have to have a British or European passport.
Yeah.
When I was in Oman, I had to call myself Andy Michael. I was accepted. When I called myself by my proper name, they refused me. The same everywhere in the Gulf countries.
Racist, yes.
Exactly. Yes, racism they are. Name me one single refugee from Syria in the Gulf country. Algerians live in Europe. We have a history with Europeans. More than the Gulf countries. Why do you have to worship them? The Algerians who judge when they go to pilgrimage.
Don't worship Allah.
Exactly. No, some of them. Morocco, we're not accept.
You know that Moroccan singer? Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Please Allah. There will be in paradise. Comes from Uma. Don't come from anybody. It is a lie.
She won't do it on
So other cultures can't control themselves, but we can because we're English. You just said you and I are English.
No, but what my point is...
We're English. In our culture.
Are you filming? I only ask out of interest. I didn't say you can't. I'd just like to know.
We're English. 100 years ago, our society was also covered. No, I guess it's what do you
We
call
didn't
modesty?
know.
And modesty,
Women never covered
it's
their
modesty
face.
subjective.
When did women cover their face in English history? I'm not. When did women?
They covered their hair. They covered their hair.
Never their face. I don't have problems. To be honest, I don't have a problem with
You don't have a problem
hijab.
with the hijab.
No, it's in the cabs. It's face covering.
Fine.
Absolutely no issue whatsoever.
And I get it's your issue, but I don't understand why you would want to ban it myself. That's my.
I don't know.
Okay, fine.
I'm not certain.
If you don't want to ban it, if you're just saying you don't agree with it,
I contemplate.
if you're just saying you don't see it, that's fine. If you want to ban it, then that's when I would ask you,
I'm not saying yes
harm
or
are they causing
I'm
you?
not saying yes or no, and I might err towards banning. I might. I'm not 100% sure.
All right, but you look more into. I mean, I would suggest maybe speaking to Niqabi sisters and finding out more.
Well, but
you see it as oppression, don't you? You see it as they're being
which
forced.
is why women are
They're being
tearing it
forced.
off in the Islamic world, where they have the confidence to even do that much, even though they're still persecuted and attacked for doing so. That tells me something there.
Yeah,
So what's happening in the Islamic world is women are tearing them off in protest, yet here we're almost campaigning for them to put them on.
In Iran?
As one example, yes.
How many in Iran, though? Isn't it a bit propaganda-ish?
Well, you think it's only one or two and it's not significant?
I don't think it's a
Probably because the others are petrified, too scared to.
Or maybe
Every movement starts, doesn't it? Do you remember the suffragettes before we even allowed women to vote here?
Yeah.
It's a protest movement. Or Ireland, I guess.
Republicanism. No, seriously.
Really? Why? What were the women doing in Ireland? When did the women get the vote in Ireland?
What you say? What's that? No, we're not. Yeah.
So what were the women doing to protest in Ireland? Throwing themselves in front of
Republicanism was actually liberating force for women in Ireland.
Was it?
Yeah. It allowed women to fight.
Well, I guess you wouldn't look at the Catholic Church,
We're
would
not
you?
talking about the Catholic Church.
Well, it was a Catholic country.
Yeah, well, I
Is
said
it?
republicanism. I didn't say Catholicism.
Do you hate the Catholic Church as much as you hate Britain?
No.
You don't?
Who said I hate anyone, you see?
No, your kind of whole...
Hatred.
Your whole... Yeah.
Come on.
It's a wasted energy, isn't
You know, like I said, it'll be like me saying to you, do you hate Islam? Do you hate this? Do you hate that?
I think that's where we were heading, wasn't it?
Do I
Someone
hate
said,
Islam?
"Do you hate
No,
Islam?"
but I'm saying it's a
Yeah,
stupid
that was
question.
it,
I don't hate anybody.
We had a small dialogue online last week, didn't we? In terms of you saw the video of the police. You know, I spoke to the policeman about.
Remind me what that was, I vaguely...
So here's what happened. There was a brother over.
Oh,
there.
yes, the praying.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
praying,
So I'll
the
explain
praying.
why. There was a brother over there praying on his own.
Yes.
And do you agree that it's fine to pray on your own? That there's no rule. The rule is in congregation.
Yep. Which means
he-
two or more.
Yes. So he was praying on his own. The policeman went up to him, tapped him on his back, was disturbing his prayer. And the policeman said what he wanted to do was he wanted to let him know that if someone was to join next to him,
To ensure that it
yes,
didn't turn
which I get
into-
that point. My point to him was, can you respectfully let him finish his prayer? He's not hurting anyone. He's not breaking any rules. And speak off.
Yet. So I guess the police viewed it as proactive action.
Yes, and so but do you see my point about the respect, about letting it? There was no need.
Because
There was
again,
no
I
need.
think that's a slippery slope.
So you
It
think
gives the
that's
message
fine?
that if you're a Muslim praying, an officer of the law must not
Why should
communicate
so an
with
officer
you
of the law
because you deserve respect because you're praying.
No, he deserves respect because he's human. He deserves
But
respect as a citizen. He deserves respect.
in the act of prayer. But my point was, it was you seem to be arguing.
No,
that
but did you
that the-
disagree?
that
Did
the
you
act-
disagree?
That the
You
act
disagree?
of prayer
Yes.
means an officer of the law cannot approach and talk to
No, that's
them.
not what I said. There may be a situation
Well, that's
where
what I read
no,
into
but
it.
I
That's
did.
what I
There
read
may be a
into it.
situation where he has to disturb the prayer. It may be a serious situation or something like that.
Right, so you're
But
saying
that-
the seriousness was not
No, but
sufficient.
in that situation, he was praying on his own by a tree. And the policeman went all the way over, out of the park, to where there was no one around this guy. There was no one even around
in
him.
the context where there was strong belief and intelligence that the Muslim community were just waiting to reinstigate the collective prayer here. And that very same day, because I was here earlier that day, but I don't think I was
That's
here
a
at
separate
that point.
point, isn't it? That's a separate point.
Mohammed, Ali Dawa and another guy went over there with their prayer mats and they were about to put them down, and the police obviously got there a little bit earlier in that moment,
okay,
and
fine.
they stopped them. And Ali Dawa looked a bit sheepish, and then they walked off to Marble Arch. That to me, and that's why I reacted to what I saw that you were having that dialogue, because that very day and generally, we're waiting for the less sensible Muslims to start doing it.
So do you agree in that situation I was fine doing what I'm doing then? Because you said quite a few comments about...
You were within your rights to talk and criticise the police officer, yes.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was just asking for respect.
I didn't agree with you, but you were within your rights to make your point. But
you agree with me now? You do agree with me now then?
No, because it's in the context of a waiting game. Hopefully I'm wrong, but a waiting game for this to be reinstigated.
What was interesting, because obviously we spoke and I tried to explain in the comments about what had happened, and you literally jumped straight onto all Muslims are doing this and all Muslims.
What was I saying?
You were saying that but all Muslims are trying to break the rules, and
I'm not sure if I said all Muslims.
That was what the comments were suggesting.
I'm sure I don't think that would have been my precise words. Well, I would say the fact that, referring to another situation of Muslims praying in Berwick Street and in other scenarios, when they've done it in Paris and when they've done it in other locations, in my view, it's not about sincere religious
no one should pray to be in your faith. No one should do that.
And I strongly believe that's a big part of why that's doing.
A Muslim was strongly
not all Muslims.
Okay, fine.
I believe there are some that do.
A small percentage. I come here, everyone prays over there fine.
Well, and let's hope that continues. And let's hope it does. The fear of that police officer.
My personal opinion
and my fear that it doesn't happen.
I don't see why it's offensive if a few Muslims pray over there.
So can I interfere and ask a question, sir? What if I brought hello, sir?
Because it's the regulation. And it's part of your own religion that tells you to respect. Can you please respect people, not just butt in with your arrogance? Thank you. Because we've actually been having a very decent conversation for about half an hour.
Thanks for the politeness, but yeah, all right.
So anyway, it is the regulation, and as you know, and I know, it is part of your religion that you respect the local rules and regulations and laws. However, there are some people that clearly don't accept that, or think that there are some scenarios that are excluded from it, and think they can do it. And even when they're educated on, because I can understand.
But you're really passionate about it, aren't you? I can't understand why you're so passionate.
Because it annoys me. Because one thing to prevent anarchy, one thing for a safe, secure and calm... Well, fuck off and walk somewhere else then. Well, it's irritating. It's really irritating. I do. Maybe that's a weakness of mine. But when I'm having a very decent, reasoned conversation with a Muslim brother, and then you get little shits just like doing that in your ear, it's just pathetic. It's just pathetic. Well, hopefully they've gone now.
When you're ready,
it worries. So no, you can't.
Wait.
Because I don't want to be So one thing you need for any stable society, you have to have one rule for all. You have to have one law for all. That is something that I hold very, very dearly, and I think that's very, very important. And I'm very passionate about it. And I just see examples of stuff where we're not following that principle. I think that is a slippery slope. I think it's a dangerous slope. And you might say collective prayer in the royal parks is a silly, innocuous example, but it's part of a bigger picture.
It seems to me to be directed at the Muslims, but
because they're the ones that are preaching it.
No, but I've been here the two times.
I don't like kosher slaughter any more than I like halal slaughter. As another example of how we have a law that's gone through the secular democratic process of Britain, and Britain rolls over and makes an exception in the law. But that's another example that's even more significant than praying.
So I remember being down here, and there was a group of Muslims praying, and you were really angry, like frothing almost. You were really upset.
There was one day when I was frothing, and that was when Tan was being taken out the park by the police, and that's probably the most angry point I've ever had.
Let me explain.
Because I viewed that as not the only, unfortunately, example where the police were placating the bullies, where violent, aggressive, intimidating Muslims in this case, invariably Muslims at Speaker's Corner, had bullied an individual out who had every equal right to stand in this park and say whatever he said, which was Tan. And the police were basically walking Tan out of that park. And I was in complete and utter disbelief that the police not only were facilitating that, they were doing it. That is the only time that I can remember that I got really, really incredibly angry.
Okay.
So that was about them walking Tan out.
I struggle feeling sorry for Tan, but I understand that point there.
Because it was outrageous, and you're giving in to the bullies.
In our earlier chat, you were agreeing that Tan, some of the stuff he said was not acceptable.
But I also said he never broke the law, and he should have every right to say what he said.
Yeah, and I made
just
the
because
point.
you or I might find it not nice, or you know.
But why were you not angry when Tan was removed then when he said the N-word and stuff like that?
He wasn't. I don't think he was. Because I go back, the speech that he gave over there, Steve Barnes was standing within feet of him giving that speech, completely within earshot. He heard every single word. And Steve Barnes even told me afterwards, he said, he was observing the crowd and gauging what their reaction was. And
Can we get back to prayer? Give me a couple of minutes, because basically, if I explain, I came down once, this is the time you look really angry, and basically what would happen was...
Was it him?
Yeah, someone prayed, and then other people had joined in because they didn't know the rules of the park. And I know that for sure. I think it was over there, and you were really angry about it.
I was angry about the town.
But that wasn't Muslims praying on purpose. That was an accident. So I didn't see the billion.
That was an accident.
It was an accident.
I'm sorry. The individual who lays out the tarpaulins in Marble Arch was the individual who started laying out them here.
That wasn't this time. That wasn't this one. This was.
Well, he did that there.
Not regulars, and they'd come
before
along.
The police just finally pulled their socks up and decided that they were going to enforce this regulation was because that individual, I'm sure it wasn't just him, but he was the key individual that would bring his little table and bring his trolley with all the mats rolled up and laid them out in that corner week after week all day long.
Fine. So I'm telling you, that's what I saw. And then I came here.
So funny they chose the very same spot. Sorry to jump in. They chose the very same spot. I don't accept that it was strangers.
No, I saw how angry you were. But then I also saw you. I came down over the Christmas period, and you were joining in with the kind of the Christian. You were standing there singing it.
I sang over there.
No. I saw you singing it. I saw you singing it there. Very happily and proudly singing all the Christian hymns.
That's a lie. That is a lie.
I saw you on my life.
I did it over there.
I saw you.
I did it over there, and I was taking the mickey out of them over there because I'm not a Christian person. I didn't do it here.
Okay. But you did join in.
But you know what?
You joined in.
Over there. Over there. Okay. That's not the Royal Park. That's Westminster. What? You're just mumbling to yourself. Another one. That's not the Royal Park. That's Westminster Council, I think.
Okay, fine.
There's no regulation in Westminster Council for that not to happen.
But the point I'm making is, it seems to be it's all Muslims, isn't it? It's all
Muslims attempting to break the regulations.
Something tells me if you saw two Muslims, if you saw two Christians doing something act of worship, you would not have the same hate in your face.
The only violence I've seen from non-Muslims at Speaker's Corner is the Catholic Evidence Guild, and twice I've seen the speaker from the Catholic Evidence Guild literally jump off their green wooden plinth thing that they stand on. One headbutted someone, another one punched another guy. That there were Catholics committing violence. Apart from those two scenarios, I can't. Oh, and was it Busker, the guy that punched Ratboy on one occasion? The weekend. I mean, there was a fight today, I understand, between two Muslims. Unfortunately, I have to say, and this is the point, I have to tell myself that the Muslims that come to Speaker's Corner are not representative of Islam, because I see appalling behaviour from Muslims.
I'm glad you
pretty much week in, week out at Speaker's Corner, which is why I go back to what I was saying earlier about more decent, sensible Muslims calling them out, verbally,
and
publicly.
You know this calling out business. I'd rather not be on COE. I'd rather not be on COE.
Why not COE?
I don't want to be on COE.
Why have you got against COE?
We can talk about it later, but I don't want to be on COE.
Talk about it now. Why have you got against Leon?
No.
Had something against Leon.
I see COE.
They don't edit.
I see COE as they building up Ralph's kind of ideology.
How?
That's something. Let's stick to
Bilal does pieces to camera.
Okay, let's stick to the topic.
I'm sorry, Suleiman does pieces to camera.
No, the point I want to make to you is, the point I made to you is linked to Bilal and Suleiman.
Right.
There's a guy at the park today that I saw, the guy that you did your fundraising for.
Yes,
the one that had raped an 87-year-old.
I can't believe you're bringing that up.
No, I know, but I saw him here. Do you think he should be here?
He's here again today.
Yeah, why should
you think he should be here? Because again, that's a why. When I've seen him here a couple of weeks now, and I'm thinking, why is no one speaking out about him? Why is no one?
Well, I think I did, didn't I? When it came to
I haven't seen. I've seen him sitting over there. I've seen him sitting over there.
No. Do you know when I foolishly started that crowdfunding? The second I found out, you know, I reacted like that.
I heard that. I did hear that. But he's back in the park. He's back in the park.
But that wasn't the point. I was raising money for him after Channel 4 featured him as a homeless veteran. As soon as I discovered his criminal history, I immediately stopped the crowdfunding, and it went to a charity. It didn't, not a penny went to him.
Okay, well done with that. And by being here today, you're fine with that? By him being here today?
So who should not be allowed to come to Speaker's Corner?
Well, you're the one telling me earlier.
I've not said anyone shouldn't come here.
You do. You said certain Muslims need to be spoken out against here.
Well, that's not denying them right to be here.
No, it's not denying right to be here.
So you're jumping to a conclusion.
No, I don't mean, you're not saying to ban people from the park.
No.
But you're saying to me as a Muslim, I need to call out people. Yeah, you're not calling anyone out.
Because they are.
You don't call anyone out on your side.
At least.
Yeah, you expect me as a Muslim to call out
because
Muslims.
I'm not here as part of a faith or as part of a group.
So Muslims,
you are.
Muslims have to live by the standard. Muslims have to live by the standard.
Don't perform for the camera. You're starting to perform for the camera.
I'm not. You're starting to raise. Look, if I got a word in edgeways here, the only way I'm going to get a word in is by raising my voice to you.
We were having
a decent conversation. We can still have a decent conversation.
Well, let's continue.
But you keep cutting me off. You keep cutting me off. So when I'm speaking, just let me speak a bit. Let me speak a bit.
But they are doing bad dawah, are they not?
Who?
The bad representatives of your faith.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't looked into it enough. If what you say is true, if what you say is true, I agree. Yes, I agree.
Have you not personally witnessed bad dawah?
Yes.
Lots of it. I'm not talking about little individual snippets, a month here, a month later.
I've seen bad behaviour from Muslims. I've seen bad behaviour from Christians. I've seen bad behaviour from non-Muslims.
What bad behaviour have you seen from Christians?
When you say bad behaviour, you're talking about violence and things like that.
I want to know.
Because I haven't seen any violence from Muslims here. Me personally, I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any. Really? Have you seen yourself? Have you seen people on what?
Regularly. Scuffles breaking out, fights breaking out. More often than not, at this sort of time of day and later. But it happens during the day as well.
I'll tell you what I see down here. I'll tell you what I see. I see the Christians here not really representing Christianity that well. I see them just attacking Islam. Any time they've got. Attacking.
What do you mean by attacking?
Here's my so you could see if Shamsi was to stand up on a platform, he would talk about and preach Islam. If Hatun was to stand up on a platform, she would be hating Islam. I don't really hear Christianity being preached much here, and I want to hear about Christianity, but I don't hear it being preached.
To be honest,
so it is an attack on Islam.
Why is it an attack?
Have you not heard?
Why
what
do you use that word, attack?
I'll tell you what, because
I view it as criticism, challenge.
Okay. Every week after week, just criticism of Islam. That's not attack. Week after week. Are you
seriously saying Muslims, for example, are not attacking Christianity week after week after week in exactly the same way?
If they are, I wouldn't support that. I certainly don't see it as much from the Muslim side.
Well, I can certainly tell you that the Pakistani guy that stands on the green chair over there, I'd say most of his content is attacking Christianity.
I would say to you, almost every Christian missionary I see is against Islam. I know you could pick out certain Muslims.
But that goes...
It doesn't go both ways.
No, that wasn't what I was going to say. I was going to say that goes by default, doesn't it? Yeah. If you stand and publicly represent and speak for your religion, you are by default standing against all the other religions.
But you're an example yourself, because you in our chat earlier you were saying about you stand against all religions and their books and all that.
I've spent many hours here over the years.
Your content online must be 90% Islam. Your content online must be because of the people here, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's slightly less now, or definitely less now, but I'd say, 6 months ago and the year and 18 months prior to that, I'd say 90% of the content of Speaker's Corner was Muslim. So, and I'm not, obviously.
You're watching the Dawah channel, so
created that. No, I'm not. That is part of the issue. But it's also the downside. Can I say no? That is the downside. That is part of. Yeah, I'm trembling. That is part of the problem. All of these cameras. To be honest, whether they're Dawah or whether they're not Dawah, I think these tripods, these cameras, and I will include COE on this as well, to a certain extent, although I think they are less biased than any other channel that comes here. But generally, I think the filming and the putting online of stuff at Speaker's Corner has not been for the greater good.
Agreed.
I think it's deteriorated Speaker's Corner.
Agreed.
Because it whips up hate, it whips up nonsense that doesn't just go on one day of the week, it goes on 7 days of the week. And it's the comments, you know, it would be slightly better if you all
the Muslims nodding.
If
Everyone agrees with you on that.
Well, I saw one. I know can I suggest that you at least turn off the comments? Because I think the comments are a big part of the problem. I got banned and I haven't even been told why yet.
So the freedom of speech
because it's hampering. It is hampering the quality and the diversity of Speaker's Corner, and it's creating violence. And I think often, not many,
and COE's comment section is a cesspit. There's no moderation. People, I've heard threats on there. I've heard people say all sorts on there, and it's just let go.
Well, certainly in terms of videos that I've ever put up myself, I always try my best to knock out and delete any of the comments that are
I'm glad we're in agreement.
Why should we be? An agreement on Brexit, an agreement on lots of things. So, you know, it's not good. It's not good to what Speaker's Corner. I know there's an argument, well, it's bringing it to the world, so it's bringing it to a bigger audience, but it's having a negative impact on what actually happens at Speaker's Corner. A violent, negative impact. Because there's little boys in their bedrooms threatening nonsense online.
Yeah, and the live streams. And,
yeah, but a lot of the time it's just threats that like they're not going to follow up.
Oh yeah, but you don't know, do you? You don't know. You've asked that question twice now. I've given you an answer twice. But you never know. I've had threats online, but who knows which is a... No, they haven't. They haven't. So far. Probably, hopefully, yeah. But there is still violence that breaks out here, and some of it has been.
Do you know what? Sometimes things do get heated. At the same time, people get irritated. Everyone has to shout above each other.
But we've just.
I have seen violence from non-Muslims here. I don't want to name names, but I have seen it.
There are non-Muslims that like to incite violence as well.
Of course.
It's a thing where, like, end of the day, it's not violence. Is something that we don't aim for. It's something that happens. It's something that should be kept to a minimum. But at the same time, the most important thing is that a platform has to be there for people to actually debate. If people do get violent and intense, fair enough, fine. As long as they actually overstep the mark.
Well, you've just said if they get violent, that's fine.
If they get a bit intense,
is there a level of violence that's okay?
Okay, someone can be violent in terms of talking violently,
That's not violence. That's not violence.
Okay, physical violence.
Talking about physical violence.
Physical violence. Okay, that shouldn't be happening. But end of the day, if people want to get heated and debate wants to get intense, that has to be allowed to happen.
For me, Ralph is a nutter. Ralph is. I've met Ralph, and I don't actually have a problem with him individually. But I feel that if people are going to build up Ralph and spread that kind, what I said before, the distinction I have with freedom of speech, you can criticise Islam, but as soon as you start dehumanising Muslims, then
what's the borderline? What's the definition? How do you?
Well, I think.
But I'm sorry, that cannot be a law.
I heard someone literally.
I think that's a respect thing.
You cannot. What were your words? Sorry, what were your words then? But you do not slander my prophet. Did you? What? You didn't use the word slander. What did you say?
You just say my prophet.
No, you said you asked. How can you? What did you say?
No, but what I'm interested in what you just said.
I literally said no. I'm not saying personally me from my point of view. I'm saying in general, right? You can start off by not slandering.
You just say he's alright.
I'll give you an example. I was just back there, someone's just walking past, they're saying, okay, the man over there, someone's making a remark about that man saying, oh, he's telling Jack Hanuri stories, stuff like that, ignorant remarks like that, shouldn't really be made like that, do you know what I mean? That's just.
But you can't outlaw it.
I don't really care. I know you can't outlaw it. Obviously, I don't care.
I don't want to be on.
Obviously, I'm quite a tolerant person. I'm quite a tolerant person, so the way I see it, it's just you don't have to fuzz my face, by the way. It's alright. But like I said, no. Anyway, as I said, with like ignorant remarks like that, I'm a tolerant person. I can take it like whatever, innit? It's not a thing like that I don't get triggered by it, but other people might, and just people need to be a bit more respectful, innit? Do you know what I mean?
We are in the home of free speech.
Obviously,
so
yeah, we are.
We are limiting it because someone might be triggered.
Like I said. Yeah,
you agreed.
It's true. Like I said, innit?
I didn't reach an agreement.
You did, no, but you also.
That's why, like, that's why I don't get angry. That's why I don't get angry when like remarks like that get made. I don't get angry. I don't get angry. I don't get mad. Whatever, innit?
When you were talking about homophobia and dehumanisation of gay people, that's when you felt stronger. When I said that.
Because I came back to the point that we covered earlier.
Dehumanisation of homosexuality.
Things that you have no choice on should have stronger legal protection.
So it's fine to dehumanise things that you do have a choice on.
If I have a belief, a thought, a faith, an ideology,
then there can be
dehumanised.
Yes. Dehumanised.
Yes. Because it's a thought, it's a belief that I've chosen.
I can say to you,
I
want all Christians removed from the country. I can say that, yeah? And I can spread that.
That shouldn't be illegal, no, to say
that. Shouldn't be illegal,
however abhorrent or wrong or vile or you disagree with it, it shouldn't be made illegal.
And I haven't said make it illegal, but I can stand against it.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
you can.
So if I feel
end of the day,
spreading that, I can distance myself from Syria. I'm not going to do it.
At the end of the day, you can always
the thing with free speech is,
I don't like.
Everyone's allowed to say what they want to say, but at the same time, you have to realise, okay, you're free to say what you want to say, but at the same time, like, you've got to understand you're not free from consequences. Like, if you can say whatever you want to say, but there's gonna be a reaction to what you say.
But then that sounds a bit like giving in to the bullies and the thugs. Though.
No, but you have to be ready
for
that.
You can say what you say, but you got to realise that someone might thump you for saying that. Look, that's not a society I want to live in. I'm sorry.
It's not great, but sometimes, someone might get angry. One person might get angry, whatever.
Germany, and I know,
and they might not like it.
I know you know, but Nazi Germany, where the Jews, you know, they were saying.
You can still say it if you want.
They were saying about big noses.
No one's stopping you.
They were dehumanising Jews over a period of time.
It's just every action has a reaction. That's part of life.
Like that. Then they were putting pictures of them, mocking them. Over time, Jews were dehumanised to the point where Nazis were, a lot of them were normal Germans, actually got to the point where they could kill them.
And the solution to that is not banning words.
It's not allowing it spread. It's not allowing that spread. That stuff. This is my opinion. That's my opinion.
But
if you're happy to live in a society where that stuff spreads,
can I point out?
That's your.
The BNP was a nasty, truly racist organisation. It had a guy called Nick Griffin. Now, the BBC put Nick Griffin on Question Time one night.
Are you UKIP?
Cover that in a minute.
We'll go there.
So BBC put Nick Griffin on Question Time. There was a load of people, and I went down there and I watched them. They were protesting outside the TV centre on Wood Lane in Shepherd's Bush, saying, no platform for racists, no platform for racists. Even though I thought Nick Griffin was a vile specimen, I thought those people shouting outside the TV centre were absolutely wrong. And I think, and what happened, I think, proves my case. Because the BBC allowed Nick Griffin to go on Question Time, and within months, he was destroyed. Within months, the BNP were destroyed. Because the entire population, if they hadn't seen him before, saw what a fucking idiot he was, saw what stupid arguments he was putting forward, and he was destroyed. So therefore, you don't destroy bad arguments by deplatforming people, by silencing people.
Yeah, but you say he's an idiot. There are some people that are quite clever, so that's an example of an idiot maybe, but there are some clever people out there with those ideologies.
So you're saying, if there was a clever racist person, if that could exist,
no, I'm not saying
they should be silenced.
I'm just saying if we should cut it.
I possibly think
he wants the comment section is restricted as well.
People can say what they want to say. People can say what they want to say. Literally.
Well, come on, let's face it.
At one point,
commenting. Come on, read out the questions.
Would you be happy with Anjam Chowdhury coming
well,
Right,
that's a very good question, and it's a very reasonable question, and my answer is I'm not sure whether he should, because he is a terrorist. He was encouraging people to move towards terrorism. He was treasonous. If we still had the law against treason, he would have been convicted.
What's your definition of terrorism for him?
Boss, at one point,
if you're encouraging violence against the state that you're standing in, that you're living in, that you're part of.
What if you're encouraging violence just to a people?
Sorry?
What if you're encouraging violence just to a people? Because I'm wondering that it's not just Anjem Chowdhury.
Encouraging violence to anyone is wrong, whether it's an individual. What do you mean good?
I mean, at one point you said you were okay with someone saying okay. Like,
I'm not 100%. So back to the question about Anjem Chowdhury. I'm not 100% sure about it, but I think if I had to come down on any side, it would be the likes of Anjem Chowdhury shouldn't be allowed here. The likes of Bilal and Suleiman, who I believe are absolute adherents to Anjem Chowdhury, they tiptoe around it because they're tiptoeing around the law because they know they're under heavy surveillance by the state, quite rightly. And you know, the day that they got their ISIS flag out, or whatever flag you want to describe it, we know why they got it out. We know why they got it out. We know why they got it out because they're idiots, they're children, and it's all part of the power games that they're playing, sucking up to Anjem or Anjem's types, and they're playing a silly game. But you know, they are under probably 24/7 surveillance, as thousands of others are. So yeah, I don't think they should be allowed down here because I think they are dangerous people. Like you think far right extremists shouldn't be down here. You campaign very much for them. They shouldn't be allowed to organise violence. Yeah, no, I'd agree. If that's what they were doing, I would agree with you.
What about Tommy Robertson?
I mean, people that
give me a specific question about.
So what about people that incite violence on the far
right? Do you
right?
think
If
Tommy Robinson had ever incited violence, he would still be walking the streets? Do you really think that?
No, but he himself hasn't. Okay, he himself, yeah, he's someone that like he's danced around. He's danced around it. That's he himself. He's actually quite an articulate man, Tommy Robinson. Like, I'll give him that. He's actually very articulate. Like, he's someone that he will never explicitly incite violence himself. Even when he incites it, there we go. Then you're not.
Not the Manchester Street.
No. There's a video clip of him saying to someone, "If you get away with it, not on camera, punch him in the face."
Yeah, that's pretty much his strategy with it. That is to be honest, that is pretty much what I was gonna say his strategy is. Like, a lot of the time he don't really.
If that is true, and he said that.
Maybe one time.
I can't believe he's not been prosecuted for that.
Maybe once he might have, but like, even then, the way he dances around it. Like, he leads people to like large protests. He leads people to these like
large protests.
But what do these large protests? What are these large protests leading into though?
So when all the
a lot of these protests ain't peaceful though. They're not peaceful.
Are these protests
peaceful?
Boss. Oh, so if it's about religion, it's wrong.
You can tell me a lot of these, most of these EDL marches completely peaceful, especially like the ones in like Luton, like smaller towns over there, Shrewsbury.
I wanted to go back what I thought you said earlier, where you said, I thought you said, maybe you didn't, they're all about freedom of speech.
But there's been much in Telford, Luton,
the boundary is do not insult my prophet.
I'm pretty sure 1-2 shots.
Okay, I've heard people say that. Freedom of speech is okay, but you must...
Sorry?
Can you continue from Jordan?
No. We had more shots too. Yeah.
What I would say on that thing
is it okay to insult your prophet?
No, but I would say I think you should probably, as a respectful Englishman, not do it. But it's not. It shouldn't be against the law.
The thing is, who decides?
Yeah, it's not against the law. Just something like if you're a nice guy, don't do it.
It shouldn't be against the law.
Have you ever done it? Have you ever done it?
Oh my God, yeah.
You have. So would you say you're disrespectful
to your prophet? Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. But is there a way of critiquing the prophet without?
There are different styles, aren't there? There's satire, there's ridicule, there's scriptural analysis, there's philosophical debate. There's many ways that you can come to.
The thing is, there are certain words,
and I think you should be allowed all.
But you may be having an emotional argument with somebody, and you may say things like that, but then you're actually you're hurting a whole bunch of people.
If I was,
it's just out of respect.
If I was going out my front door and my Muslim neighbour was coming out of his door, obviously to turn around and say, your prophet's a P word, shall we say? That would be disrespectful.
Yes.
But that's very uncalled for.
But that sort of dialogue here at Speaker's Corner should be absolutely lawful and fine.
And it is.
And that's how it should be.
I mean, yeah, it's not against the law.
Because as soon as you start even nudging towards the direction of stopping it or preventing it or making it unlawful, That's a slippery slope, and
to
who makes the decisions?
To me, it's a dehumanization of Muslims.
If I criticise and ridicule L. Ron Hubbard, there's going to be a whole stackload of Scientologists that are going to be highly insulted by that. But what if someone was suggesting don't insult Muhammad? You would have to accept that you can't insult L. Ron Hubbard as well, and the Thetans and whatever nonsense is in Scientology. It's a ridiculous and slippery and dangerous road to go down, and we must never go down that.
Just as a respectful person, I just choose not to do that. I don't understand why. I don't understand why people sort of.
Delivery, not the message.
Yeah,
it depends how you.
I don't understand why freedom of speech.
And the context and where you're doing it.
They want the license.
Because there is a famous quote, and unfortunately I can't remember who said it, but I'm trying to remember what it was. It was something along the lines, free speech without the ability to offend is not free speech. There's a quote, something along those lines. And that was an illegal case. A very if we can't offend one another, we don't
have you ever insulted Jesus? Have you ever insulted Jesus?
Yes.
You've done that as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay, at least you're fair in it. What, Buddha? Might have in it.
I don't,
No, not really.
The thing is, I personally, this is just personally me, I don't really want to live in a society where everyone's just going around abusing each other to that extent. But
the thing is, when you've got,
if that's where you want to live, then
let's talk theoretically. If you've got one community who are pushing that and who basically want blasphemy law just for their own religion. To me, I didn't even name it.
It's not a thing of blasphemy law.
The blasphemy thing gave it away.
No one's screaming blasphemy.
Exactly. So you did say
they're the only ones doing it.
No one is screaming blasphemy.
I'm trying to avoid it, just because sometimes, because whatever the argument is, you should be able to apply the arguments for other situations, because otherwise it's a weak argument. Which is why I took the I word out of it. And now you made me forget what I was going to say. What was I saying? Yeah, who decides? Who decides where the parameters are? What you can insult, what you can't insult? And again, I come back to what the Christian preachers do here at Speaker's Corner is in no way more hateful or insulting than what the Muslims do to the Christians. They're challenging one another's scriptures, one another's faiths, one another's ideologies. You know, the kuffophobia that goes on week in, week out here is fine.
But interestingly though, we've had Tan come and go. We've already gone about what he said about Islam, reducing the population.
He didn't say that. He said about wanking on the Quran, yes.
Okay,
he did not say killing, slaughtering,
did I say
reducing. You said reducing the population.
Did he say he did? He said reduce the population from 1.6 billion.
By conversion.
Yeah, I didn't say. Did I say anything else other than that?
But you were playing along.
You've assumed it. No, I haven't.
That was your direct.
Here's my point. He didn't specify, so he left it open
because he was sensationalist.
Yes,
and that's
he left it open on purpose.
His whole method.
But that borderlines onto hate speech because some people will listen to him. It does. But anyway, so we had Tan.
It was clear he was pushing the boundaries of free speech. That's what he was here to do.
We had Tan do that. Then we've got Ralph at the moment who's saying deport all Muslims and there's a war coming.
I don't think he said any of those.
He has.
Here, no,
here. Well, he said it in the
comments.
Here
or online.
And I'm pretty sure.
Again,
I'm
comments
pretty sure.
on video.
Just go and look at one of the COE videos.
How do you feel, boss? How do you feel? Yeah, like the thing is, yeah, it's a thing where like a lot of these like hateful fucking people, yeah, like it's almost like they're basically being told that it's okay.
Yeah, but
it's okay to be racist. They're basically being told it's okay to be racist. Like, we're gonna allow you. We're gonna allow you.
We've got Tan and Ralph who said revolting things about Islam. And that's kind of, and you sort of be on the side of, yeah, but it's freedom of speech are allowed. But I just get the feeling that if someone was to come around and hate along, you know, someone was to hate towards gay people, or someone was to hate towards, you would be well against it.
They do that every week. There is virulent, vile homophobia here every week.
Show me. Show me where it's...
Just look at the internet. Just look at the YouTube videos. You keep saying that you've not experienced stuff here.
My point is, and you know, to me, Speaker's Corner is a little bit
from gang as much as from Muslims.
Okay, Speaker's Corner is a little bit of a window to the world, I think, and for me, it definitely seems to be acceptable to say what you want about Islam. But if you say things, you could say the N-word. That's not acceptable, and I support that. That's not acceptable. You can say other things, and you won't last long at Speaker's Corner if you come out with that. So if you were going to say,
you won't last long at Speaker's Corner.
Yeah, I think Tan's final demise was when he started going into other people.
Tan's final demise is his visa ran out and he had to leave the country. That's his final demise. That's why he's not here today.
You say he wasn't removed.
Well, yeah, no, he was on that
like
day,
everyone
but
was
he came back.
united.
He was never
Everyone
banned.
was united.
Everyone was united.
Sorry, what's your name?
Jordan.
Jordan, with someone who takes Islam,
Fine.
but not in a antagonist.
Absolutely
right?
fine.
Why shouldn't it be
That's fine. There's
antagonistic?
nothing wrong with that.
I mean, there's I guess that's
Obviously,
the
there's
point. It
things
can be
with
said,
that
it can be done
members
in
of
a
the religion.
non-antagonistic
Not every
manner.
member of Islam
And,
is perfect.
To me, it seems that Muslims are just more ultra-sensitive.
Sure, maybe they are. Maybe.
And because
I think,
again,
yeah,
I want to
a
make
lot-
the point.
some can,
I
yeah,
want to
some
make
can.
the point.
Some can be.
You only need to criticise, let alone ridicule. You only need to criticise Islam, and you're branded a hate preacher. I've been branded a white supremacist.
You seem sensitive, Steve. You
say something wrong about Jews. It depends how. It depends how.
Wrong about Jews, you become an anti-Semite.
People banding the word racist
It's the way
to
you say
people.
it. It's the way you say
It's vile, and it's gonna be damaging to deal with the real racists.
Why do people call you racist,
because
do you think?
because I criticise Islam.
You don't see any reason.
No,
other
it's not that you criticise Islam. It's maybe
The way I do.
Steve,
Thing is,
do
you
you
criticize
criticize
a lot of
Jews?
people. Yeah, a lot of people.
You should criticize
Me personally,
any
the whole thing of satire and that, I can take. But true say, a lot of Muslims, they might not take the satirical approach so well.
Then they're worse people.
We know the one who the one who says this color
Yes, when it comes to illegal schools, when it comes to religious indoctrination of children,
So
yes.
like the Hasidic community that live in like Stanford
Yeah,
and stuff like that, completely marginalised lives.
I'm not sure if they're so high in numbers, but it's still bad, even if they're in lower numbers.
I'm just saying,
Still very
it has to be
kosher
inclusive.
slaughter is as wrong as hell house.
But I think he
what's
criticizes
wrong?
But the other, the difference.
At least you're saying it's both.
One difference is though, Tesco's doesn't
He's
sell
not just picking on
kosher
Muslims.
slaughtered food without
What's wrong with halal food?
labelling.
What's wrong with halal
But
food?
Tesco sells halal slaughtered food without labelling it. We have to have labelling. We have to know what we're buying, and that's not the situation.
Are you against halal slaughter?
Yeah, but let's not get into it.
No, I just wondering why, how come?
Because that's not what we're
All
talking
my
about.
non-Muslim friends
Surely we
say
should
that.
understand, like, if someone came to my country and they did
Where's your
non-Islamic
country?
things, Pakistan, if they came to Pakistan and did non-Islamic things, they'd be criticised as well. So surely we have to have some empathy for people of his generation. Who,
It's your choice
My
whether you
generation.
yeah, I mean, you're not old.
To be fair,
Steve's not that old.
I'll give you
Steve's not
that.
that old.
How do you think I am?
I quite like you.
No, but people from his generation.
Don't say
No?
To be fair, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You'd probably be a bit more tolerant had you grown up with Muslim friends. Like, you probably would be a
I
bit more
live in
tolerant.
a very
Yeah, you live in a Muslim area now, but was your area Muslim?
where I grew up as a kid. No.
No,
But what
exactly.
you have to understand
You have
is,
Muslim friends, not
if
really,
people
no.
come to Pakistan and start doing whatever they want, it's not going to be tolerated. Therefore, we should understand with the Western, with these ethnic Brits, the white, they are the ethnic Brits, if they sometimes feel other practices are alien to their culture. We have
And
to
that's
be
what it's about.
empathetic. It's just about
Practices.
empathy.
It's not about skin.
I don't think you have to.
I've
adhere
always
to
gone out of my
anything.
way to say it's got nothing to do with
When
skin
my
colour.
family see people doing certain things, like wearing a miniskirt, they find it in my country, they would never tolerate it. So it's a similar thing. It's just a shock in the culture that you're not used to.
Say again.
We should try to empathise with them, not attack them.
I believe
There
it
is, and there has been cohesion in this country. My fear is if it goes, or if it diminishes, or if it reduces. I don't know. That's my biggest fear. I don't want lack of cohesion, which is why you go back to, you have to have one law for all. You have to respect.
Yeah.
We all have to be
We
governed.
should have a parallel law.
I know it does, but many people don't.
Honestly, but
And the British state government almost seems to actively roll over to create
Well, the thing is,
not
the
having
things
one
to be
law for
as they should be. There needs to be more open-mindedness for society as a whole. That's the thing.
This country,
I think we just have
And the
to
problem
learn
is
to
there's too many social issues that lead to like this hate anyway. That's the problem. Like half of the people that come out with this hate speech are coming from similar backgrounds. Whether they're coming from like MD, Muslim defensive or English defensive, they're literally coming from the same. Like they're all coming from like poor backgrounds, like backgrounds where they've had nothing, parents or benefits. Like, Steve, do you know what I mean? Steve, it's more to do with social issues than it is to do with religion or race. Steve, I've got a question, Steve. Steve, quick question there. Okay, cool. Put religion aside, yeah?
I wish we could.
I really wish for the sake of this conversation, right? So I think some of our biggest concerns right now, us as Londoners, I'm assuming everyone here is a Londoner.
Knife crime.
Yeah, or Great London, whatever. It's more to do with societal issues. That's what I've been saying, literally. So we put religion, hatred. It's all boils down to like societal issues, like. People from the EDO and people from Muslim Defense League. Let's put that aside. They're all coming from. Bro, put that aside. They're all coming from like. Bro. They're all basically the same.
They don't like it when you mention Muslims in the sense.
Even from the Muslim Defense, MDL and EDO. The thing is, they're both coming from the same sides of the coin. Do you know what I mean? Steve, quick question there. So us.
Conversation. I'm just going to go pray. Sorry?
Is it right now? You've got Brexit biggest problem right now We're going to pray Maghrib time, prayer time, people. Maghrib. Gotta pray. We did a prayer now. Is it Jamaat or something? Jamaat. So what about here? Can you pray here? We can't do Jamaat. Can't pray in Jamaat. You can pray singly, sir. Yeah. You can pray by yourself. Hey, James. We're going to pray for yeah, prayer time, people. You know what time it is. What is this? It goes after 8, is it? Huh? Is that chocolate? Yeah, it's chocolate, man. You want more? It's so cold, man. What's that? What's that down there? Oh, it's a car park. You can do there's a toilet downstairs. No, easy, I'll leave my camera next to that way too. Can I say salam? I don't record that salam. Put it next to it. Yeah. I just want to show you guys where we pray. We don't pray in the park anymore, so just make sure. This is where we pray. I'm going to take you guys. Let me show you what we pray. I want you guys to say, oh, we pray in the park. No, we don't. We pray. Let me show you guys. Yeah, it's normal, yeah. That's That's why we pray, as you can see. We pray over there. That's the prayer area. That's not the bar, people.
Put the camera there, in the corner, because I'm gonna pray too.
Oh, did you put the Quran in? Was it the Quran?
No, we're gonna pray now, innit?
Okay, sorry. This is. I just want people to listen to the Quran for 1 minute.
Okay, I can put.
Line in. Bluetooth connected.
You got the mic now, eh?
Abdullah, who's playing the Quran over there? Another table?
His brother, the Jamaican.
Oh, mashallah.
Where? He's in the corner, I see there. Sometime he come there.
Come on, Salah. Abdullah. No. Salah.
Okay.
It's about live. Yeah, I know that they were just debating for ages. They were. You're gonna learn this now.
That's where we pray. Don't pray in a prayer.
I need to get character. What are you talking about? Let me tell you the name and the reason. Sorry. Otherwise, I can't get into character.
Bluetooth mode.
الرحيم ألف لام را تلك آيات الكتاب وقرآن مبين ربما يود الذين كفروا لو كانوا مسلمين ذرهم يأكلوا ويتمتعوا ويلههم الأمل فسوف يعلمون أهلكنا من قرية إلا ولها كتاب معلوم ما تسبق من أمة أجلها وما يستأخرون وقالوا يا أيها الذي نزل عليه الذكر إنك لمجنون لو ما تأتينا بالملائكة إن كنت من الصادقين ما ننزل الملائكة إلا بالحق وما كانوا إذا منظرين إنا نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون ولقد أرسلنا من قبلك في شيع الأولين وما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون كذلك نسلكه في قلوب المجرمين لا يؤمنون به وقد خلت سنة الأولين ولو فتحنا عليهم بابا من السماء فظلوا فيه يعرجون لقالوا إنما سكرت أبصارنا بل نحن قوم مسحورون ولقد جعلنا في السماء بروجا وزيناها للناظرين وحفظناها من كل شيطان رجيم إلا من استرق السمع فأتبعه شهاب مبين والأرض مددناها وألقينا فيها رواسي وأنبتنا فيها من كل شيء موزون وجعلنا لكم فيها معايش ومن لستم له برازقين وإن من شيء إلا عندنا خزائنه وما ننزله إلا بقدر معلوم وأرسلنا الرياح لواقح فأنزلنا من السماء ماء فأسقيناكموه وما أنتم له بخازنين وإنا لنحن نحيي ونميت ونحن الوارثون ولقد علمنا المستقدمين منكم وقد علمنا المستأخرين وإن ربك هو يحشرهم إنه حكيم عليم ولقد خلقنا الإنسان من صلصال من حمأ مسنون والجان
I'll be back when phone is gonna die. Can't film it, guys. I'm gonna.
لا يغني من الحق شيئا إن الله عليم بما يفعلون. وما كان هذا القرآن أن يفترى من دون الله ولكن تصديق الذي بين يديه وتفصيل الكتاب لا ريب فيه من رب العالمين. أم يقولون افتراه قل فأتوا بسورة مثله وادعوا من استطعتم من دون الله إن كنتم صادقين. بل كذبوا بما لم يحيطوا بعلمه ولما يأتهم تأويله كذلك كذب الذين من قبلهم فانظر كيف كان عاقبة الظالمين.
Say, is there one of your so-called partners to Allah, one that guides to the truth? Say, it is Allah who guides to the truth. Is then he who gives guidance to the truth more worthy to be followed, or he who does not find guidance himself, unless he himself is guided? Then what is the matter with your judgment? And most of them follow nothing but conjecture. Certainly, conjecture can be of no avail against the truth. Surely, Allah is all aware of what they do. And this Quran could not be authored by other than Allah, Lord of the heavens and the earth. It is a confirmation of the revelation which came before it. It is infallible, for it comes from the Lord of mankind, jinn, and all that exists. Or do they say, he, Muhammad, has forged it? Say, then bring a chapter like it, and invite whoever you wish besides Allah if you are truthful. Is it then that when it actually befalls you, then you will believe in it? Why should you believe then? And before you wanted to hurry to it. Then it will be said to those who wrong themselves, now taste the everlasting torment. Are you punished for anything except what you used to earn?
ويستنبئونك أحق هو قل إي وربي إنه لحق وما أنتم بمعجزين. ولو أن لكل نفس ظلمت ما في الأرض لافتدت به وأسروا الندامة لما رأوا العذاب وقضي بينهم بالقسط وهم لا يظلمون. ألا إن لله ما في السماوات والأرض ألا إن وعد الله حق ولكن أكثر أكثرهم لا يعلمون هو يحيي ويميت وإليه ترجعون.
And they ask you, O Muhammad, to inform them, saying, is the torment and the coming of the hour, the day of resurrection, the truth? Say, yes, by my Lord, it is the truth, and you cannot escape from it. And if every person who had done wrong by disbelieving in Allah and by worshipping others besides Allah possessed all that is on earth and sought to ransom himself with it, it will not be accepted. And they would feel in their hearts regret when they see the torment, and they will be judged with justice, and no wrong will be done to them. No doubt, surely all that is in the heavens and the earth belongs to Allah. No doubt, surely Allah's promise is true, but most of them do not know. It is He who gives life and causes death, and to Him you shall all return.
يا أيها الناس قد جاءتكم موعظة من ربكم وشفاء لما في الصدور وهدى ورحمة للمؤمنين قل بفضل الله وبرحمته فبذلك فليفرحوا هو خير مما يجمعون قل أرأيتم ما أنزل الله لكم من رزق فجعلتم منه حراما وحلالا قل الله أذن لكم أم على الله تفترون وما ظن الذين يفترون على الله الكذب يوم القيامة إن الله لذو فضل على الناس ولكن أكثرهم لا يشكرون.
O mankind, there has come to you good advice from your Lord in this Quran, ordering all that is good and forbidding all that is evil, and a healing for the disease of ignorance, doubt, and hypocrisy in your hearts, a guidance and a mercy, explaining lawful and unlawful things for the believers. Say, in the bounty of Allah and in His mercy of Islam and the Quran, in that let them rejoice. That is better than the wealth they amass. Say, O Muhammad, to the polytheists, note the provision Allah has sent down to you for sustenance, and you have made some of it lawful and some unlawful. Say, O Muhammad, has Allah permitted you to do so, or do you invent a lie against Allah? And what do those who invent lies against Allah on the day of resurrection think? Do they think that they will be forgiven and excused? No, they will suffer an eternal punishment in the fire of hell. Truly, Allah is full of bounty to mankind, but most of them are ungrateful.
وما تكون في شأن وما تتلو منه من قرآن ولا تعملون من عمل إلا كنا عليكم شهودا ولا تعملون من عمل إلا كنا عليكم شهودا إذ تفيضون فيه وما يعزب عن ربك من مثقال ذرة في الأرض ولا في السماء ولا أصغر من ذلك ولا أكبر إلا في كتاب مبين ألا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون الذين آمنوا وكانوا يتقون لهم البشرى في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة لا تبديل لكلمات الله ذلك هو الفوز العظيم ولا يحزنك قولهم إن العزة لله جميعا هو السميع العليم.
Whatever you, O Muhammad, may do, and whatever part you may recite from the Quran, and whatever deeds you, mankind, may do, good or evil, we are a witness to it. Not even an atom's weight is out of your Lord's control, be it anywhere in the heavens or the earth. Nor is there anything smaller than an atom or larger that is not written in a clear record. No doubt, indeed, the friends of Allah, those who believe in the oneness of Allah and fear Allah much by abstaining from all kinds of sins and evil deeds which He has forbidden, and love Allah much by performing all kinds of good deeds which He has ordained, no fear shall come upon them, nor shall they grieve. Those who believe in the oneness of Allah and fear Allah much by abstaining from evil deeds and sins and by doing righteous deeds, for them are glad tidings in the life of the present world and in the hereafter. No change can there be in the words of Allah. This is indeed the supreme success. And do not let their speech grieve you, O Muhammad, for all power and honor belongs to Allah. He is the all-hearer, the all-knower.
ألا إن لله من في السماوات ومن في الأرض وما يتبع الذين يدعون من دون الله شركاء إن يتبعون إلا الظن وإن هم إلا يخرصون هو الذي جعل لكم الليل لتسكنوا فيه والنهار مبصرا إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يسمعون.
No doubt, indeed to Allah belongs whoever is in the heavens and whoever is in the earth. And those who worship and invoke others besides Allah, in fact they do not follow the so-called partners of Allah. They only follow conjecture, and they only invent lies. It is He who has appointed for you the night that you may rest, and the day to make things visible to you. Indeed, in this are signs and revelations for a people who listen and think deeply.
قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا سبحانه هو الغني له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض إن عندكم من سلطان بهذا أتقولون على الله ما لا تعلمون قل إن الذين يفترون على الله الكذب لا يفلحون متاع في الدنيا ثم إلينا مرجعهم ثم نذيقهم العذاب الشديد بما كانوا يكفرون.
The Jews, Christians and pagans say, Allah has begotten the Son, glory be to Him. He is rich, free of all wants. His is all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth. No, they have no proof for this. Do you say against Allah what you do not know? Say, indeed, those who invent lies against Allah will never be successful. A brief enjoyment in this world, and then to us will be their return. Then we shall make them taste the severest torment, because they used to disbelieve in Allah, deny His messengers, and deny and challenge His signs and revelations.
وَاتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَبَأَ نُوحٍ إِذْ قَالَ لِقَوْمِهِ يَا قَوْمِ إِن كَانَ كَبُرَ عَلَيْكُمْ مَقَامِي وَتَذْكِيرِي بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ فعلى الله توكلت فأجمعوا أمركم وشركاءكم ثم لا يكن أمركم عليكم غمة ثم قضوا إلي ولا تنظرون فإن توليتم فما سألتكم من أجر إن أجري إلا على الله وأمرت أن أكون من المسلمين فكذبوه فنجيناه ومن معه في الفلك وجعلناهم خلائف فانظر كيف كان عاقبة المنذرين ثم بعثنا من بعده رسلا إلى قومهم فجاءوهم بالبينات فما كانوا ليؤمنوا بما كذبوا به من قبل كذلك نطبع على قلوب المعتدين.
And recite to them the news of Noah when he said to his people, O my people, if my stay with you and my reminders to you of the signs and revelations of Allah is hard on you, then I put my trust in Allah. So devise your plot, you and your helpers, and do not let your plot be in doubt for you. Then pass your sentence on me, and give me no respite. But if you turn away, then I have asked no reward of you. My reward is only from Allah, and I have been commanded to be one of the Muslims, those who submit to Allah's will. They denied him, but we delivered him, and those with him in the ship. And we made them generations one after another, while we drowned those who denied our signs and revelations. So see then the end of those who were warned. Then after him, we sent messengers to their people. They brought them clear proofs, but they were not to believe in what they had rejected in the past. Thus we seal the hearts of the transgressors, those who disbelieve in the oneness of Allah and disobey him.
ثم بعثنا من بعدهم موسى وهارون إلى فرعون وملئه بآياتنا فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما مجرمين فلما جاءهم الحق من عندنا قالوا إن هذا لسحر مبين قال موسى أتقولون للحق لما جاءكم أسحر هذا ولا يفلح الساحرون قالوا أجئتنا لتلفتنا عما وجدنا عليه آباءنا وتكون لكما الكبرياء في الأرض وما نحن لكما بمؤمنين وقال فرعون ائتوني بكل ساحر عليم فلما جاء السحرة قال لهم موسى ألقوا ما أنتم ملقون فلما ألقوا قال موسى ما جئتم به السحر إن الله سيبطله إن الله لا يصلح عمل المفسدين ويحق الله الحق بكلماته ولو كره المجرمون.
Then after them we sent Moses and Aaron to Pharaoh and his chiefs with our signs and revelations. But they behaved arrogantly and were disbelievers, sinners and polytheists. So when there came to them the truth from us, they said, "This is indeed clear magic." Moses said, "Do you say this about the truth when it comes to you, that it is magic? How can magicians ever be successful?" They said, "Have you come to us to turn us away from that faith we found our fathers following, so that the two of you may have greatness in the land? We are not going to believe you." And Pharaoh said, "Bring to me every well-versed sorcerer." And when the sorcerers came, Moses said to them, "Cast down what you want to cast." Then, when they had cast, Moses said, "What you have brought is sorcery. Allah will surely make it of no effect. Indeed, Allah does not support the work of the evildoers, and Allah will establish and make the truth apparent by His words, however much the criminals, disbelievers, polytheists and sinners may hate it."
فما آمن لموسى إلا ذرية من قومه على خوف من فرعون وملئهم أن يفتنهم وإن فرعون لعال في الأرض وإنه لمن المسرفين وقال موسى يا قوم إن كنتم آمنتم بالله فعليه توكلوا إن كنتم مسلمين فقالوا على الله توكلنا ربنا لا تجعلنا فتنة للقوم الظالمين ونجنا برحمتك من القوم الكافرين وأوحينا إلى موسى وأخيه أن تبوأ لقومكما بمصر بيوتا واجعلوا بيوتكم قبلة وأقيموا الصلاة وبشر المؤمنين.
But none believed in Moses except the offspring of his people, because of the fear of Pharaoh and his chiefs, lest they should persecute them. And indeed, Pharaoh was an arrogant tyrant on the earth. He was indeed one of the polytheist sinners and transgressors, among those who give up the truth and follow evil and commit all kinds of great sins. And Moses said, O my people, if you have believed in Allah, then put your trust in him if you are Muslims, those who submit to Allah's will. They said, in Allah we put our trust. Our Lord, do not make us a trial for the folk who are polytheists and wrongdoers, and do not let them overpower us, and deliver us by your mercy from the disbelieving folk. And we inspired Moses and his brothers, saying, take dwellings for your people in Egypt, and make dwellings as places for your worship, and perform prayer, and give glad tidings to the believers.
وقال موسى ربنا إنك آتيت فرعون وملأه زينة وأموالا في الحياة الدنيا ربنا ليضلوا عن سبيلك ربنا اطمس على أموالهم واشدد على قلوبهم فلا يؤمنوا حتى يروا العذاب الأليم قال قد أجيبت دعوتكما فاستقيما ولا تتبعان سبيل الذين لا يعلمون.
And Moses said, Our Lord, you have indeed bestowed on Pharaoh and his chiefs splendor and wealth in the life of this world. Our Lord, they only use it to repulse others from your path. Our Lord, wipe out their wealth and harden their hearts to prevent them from believing until they see the painful retribution. Allah said, indeed, the invocation of both of you is accepted. So both of you keep to the straight way. Keep on doing good deeds and preaching Allah's message with patience. And do not follow the path of those who do not know the truth and do not believe in the oneness of Allah.
وجاوزنا ببني إسرائيل البحر فأتبعهم فرعون وجنوده بغيا وعدوا حتى إذا أدركه الغرق قال آمنت أنه لا إله إلا الذي آمنت به بنو إسرائيل وأنا من المسلمين الآن وقد عصيت قبل وكنت من المفسدين فاليوم ننجيك ببدنك لتكون لمن خلفك آية وإن كثيرا من الناس عن آياتنا لغافلون.
And we took the children of Israel across the sea, and Pharaoh with his hosts followed them in oppression and enmity, till when drowning overtook him, he said, I believe that none has the right to be worshipped but he, in whom the children of Israel believe, and I am one of the Muslims, those who submit to Allah's will. Now you believe, while you refused to believe before, and you chose to be a transgressor. Today we shall preserve your body from the sea, so that you may be a sign to those who come after you. And indeed, many among mankind are heedless of our signs and revelations.
ولقد بوأنا بني إسرائيل مبوأ صدق ورزقناهم من الطيبات فما اختلفوا حتى جاءهم العلم إن ربك يقضي بينهم يوم القيامة فيما كانوا فيه يختلفون فإن كنت في شك مما أنزلنا إليك فاسأل الذين يقرؤون الكتاب من قبلك لقد جاءك الحق من ربك فلا تكونن من الممترين.
And indeed, we settled the children of Israel in an honorable dwelling place and provided them with good things. And they did not differ until the knowledge came to them. Indeed, Allah will judge between them on the day of resurrection in that in which they used to dispute. So if you, O Muhammad, are in doubt concerning that which we have revealed to you, that your name is written in the Torah and the Gospel, then ask those that have read the Torah and the Gospel before you. Indeed, the truth has come to you from your Lord. So do not be of those who doubted.